Yo, what's up? So today we're going to talk about how to find a simple way how to find happiness with just a pen and paper, and how to improve your life with just a pen and paper. This is actually one of the most fascinating things I've ever discovered, and like, mind you, I'm not the first one to discover this. So, but I thought I was. I was like, oh, I'm such a genius. But I found out that I found out that a lot of people teach this. I just didn't know about it. It's weird how the brain works, but they don't, I guess they don't do it from the way I come up about it. I come about it from a different perspective, but this is more about how to improve your life, which is a pen and paper, right? So it's all about this, right? So a lot of stuff that I teach is all about emotional management, being able to regulate your emotions. If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your actions, you cannot control your thinking, and you cannot control the destiny of your life, right? So a lot of the problem is that a lot of people feel emotions and they struggle with it because they think that they don't have no other choice, right? So let's say they feel angry, right? The natural reaction of anger is what? To express your anger. The reason why you express your anger is because the expression of your anger relieves the anger. So the truth is that it's not that you're angry, but rather you're trying to feel better. And so you're expressing that anger. And that expression of the anger is you feel better through applying a concept, which is if I do this, I'll feel better. And as a result, you experience the anger, you express it, and you feel better, quote unquote. But the cure becomes worse than the disease, which is it just makes you even angry because you're suppressing it. You're not fixing the problem, you're suppressing it. So the best way so I learned this tactic through using the pen and paper, through learning how to talk to girls. Where when you get rejected, your mind immediately creates an image in your mind of you getting rejected, and suddenly that emotion causes you to feel rejected, right? So what I began doing is every time, for example, like when I wanted to text a girl back, right? You know, when you're trying to text somebody and you feel the anxiety to want to text them back fast, I began writing down the sensation of my anxiety to text a girl fast, to respond fast. So this is what I began doing, right? I began to write down, for example, I will write down, like every time I felt needy, right? That was my cue. I feel needy. Okay, time to write down. So I would get my pen and paper, right? Make sure to get a nice pen and a nice piece of paper. You can't suck. It has to be nice, right? All you gotta do is feel the sensation of whatever emotion you're feeling, right? For example, right now I feel hungry, right? I feel hungry right now, right? So I would write down stomach empty, right? And then I will write down the effects of that emotion, of that feeling. Headache, but not just headache, but the sensation of the headache. Thumbing feeling in my temple. I will write down the tension that the hunger causes, tension in my shoulders. Tension in neck, right? And so and then you go into any emotion. Like if you feel anger, you write down the physical sensation of anger. Like you write it down slowly. Make sure to write down in a very slow and deliberate manner. Take pride in how you write it. Make that shit look pretty, because it's not because you're making it look pretty, but because the slower you write on it, the longer you are aware of the raw physical sensation of that thing you call anger, whatever emotion that might be. That could be neediness, that could be insecurity, that could be inferiority, whatever it is. Don't focus on the label, inferiority, needy. Focus on the sensation. Stress here, sensation here, anger. Stiffness here, stiffness there, and all that sort of stuff. Why? Because you're going into the raw experience. You see, and the beauty about writing is because if you type it fast. You see, but if you write it, it forces you to stay in that emotion for a long period of time, right? And so what tends to happen is that you begin to notice that your what you call anger, what you call neediness, is really a conglomeration of physical sensations. That's what it is, a conglomeration of physical sensation. But the problem is that you're just not looking at each sensation because you call it pain. So you rather than observing the sensation, you just say, I feel angry. Right, and because of that, you just look into the cause of your anger. That diverts you from observing the actual experience of the anger. You see, so the more you do this, what's going to happen is that because you're going into the raw experience rather than going into the mental, the conceptual representation of your experience, you actually allow your body to process it. You're not suppressing anymore. So you're writing it down, and you're going to notice is that if you do it for 5 minutes, then do it again for another 5 minutes, and you notice that the tension actually lowers. So suddenly, if that one thing you call anger, which was the first part, it's not anger no more because it's the muscles are relaxed. Can you find anger? You can't find anger anymore. You're gonna find relaxation. Now you might have the thoughts of anger, right? It's almost like a spinning wheel. You stop it spinning, and it's still gonna keep spinning because it's momentum, but it's slowing down. You're gonna see the thoughts there, but not gonna be animated. You're gonna feel the thought of fuck him, I hate him, right? But there's no emotion to it, so it's like slowly gonna keep going away. But you're gonna return your attention not to the thoughts, but to the sensation. Yeah, it's relieved. Yeah, it's lowered, but write it down. My neck feels a lot more relaxed. My body feels this. I feel a tension in my chest, but it's not as tense. It's very light. You see, so it's kind of like you're sketching out your sensation, but not through sketching, but through writing it. And so that's what being present is. You're going into the raw experience, not into the mental label and the mental representation of your experience. So that's how you just use a pen and paper every single day. If you struggle meditating, just use this as a way to meditate. To find a couple minutes a day, certain times a day, in the morning, whatever. Say, okay, I'm gonna write down my sensation for 5 minutes. You just write it down. I use this. I actually do this. And you know what? It's okay if you don't do it often. I don't do it often. I fuck up in it sometimes. You know, there's some days I don't do it. But every time I do it, I feel good. You see? And you could just do this for a specific problem. Like find a cue. Like for example, if you're noticing that you feel the needy compulsion to always creep on your guy, like look at his Facebook or whatever, it's okay. Like just go into the experience. Literally say, okay, be like, okay, I feel creepy right now. All right, let me observe the sensation of needing to know what he's doing, who's the bitch, and all that sort of stuff. So you notice tension here, tension there, thoughts there. I feel anger here. How does that anger feel like? It feels like a sensation here. This sensation is causing this part of the neck to feel tense. You write it down, right? And you keep noticing it. And you're allowing your body to how am I gonna say this, to filter, to clean out the creepiness in you per se, like you know, to take away the negative emotions. And that's how you do it. And slowly but surely, those things that were unconscious become conscious, and when they become conscious, they dissolve. And that's how you allow your body to deal with those emotions. Because in the past, you were dealing with them with thoughts. And those thoughts were creating more thoughts. You feel shitty and you try to feel better to blame somebody else. But now you go into the raw experience. There's no blame. There's no victim. There's only a sensation. And that's what it is. So you're removing the labels of your experience. You're not calling it bad. You're not calling it good. It just is. It's a physical sensation. So there's nothing such thing as bad. Because when you feel bad, what happened? Go into that experience. Oh, bad feels this, bad feels that. And you feel it. This also works. And this is the most important thing. Actually, even doing it for your good sensations. When you feel prideful, go into the experience of feeling pride, because that pride is also your source of unhappiness. Because when you don't have that, there is an emptiness, and there is an emptiness that's left that's causing you to feel pain. So you try to fill that emptiness with something else that causes pride. You see, so you go into that pride, feel how it feels not to have that pride thing, not to derive self-esteem from that pride, and then notice that sensation. That's how you do it. It's simple fucking pen and paper, man. I'm telling you, this is so easy that I don't know how the hell I never came up with it. I don't know how the hell I didn't use it in the past. But yeah, that's how you do it, man. Anyways, it's Alex from Mindful Attraction. I hope you guys have a good day. If you want one-on-one coaching, I give relationship advice. I know, right? Spiritual advice and all that sort of stuff. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.